All right, welcome to episode 65 of Random Thoughts. Thanks for tuning in.
This is your idea.
Yeah.
I think. It's going to be a good one. I'm pretty excited about this.
Yeah, so stupid quotes. Things that sound snappy and it's like, yeah, but they're actually really bad thoughts that promote bad training. But because it's catchy, people...
Yeah, and I think as a caveat to start, I think we should say that paralysis by analysis is a thing in fitness. A lot of people do overthink, and if something gets you from the couch to moving, that's brilliant.
Phenomenal, yeah.
But sometimes, we've got a list here that we're going to go through in a second, sometimes they're actually just plain ridiculous. And when they're given to athletes or people who are highly motivated, it can actually be quite corruptive and actually have the opposite effect. So you can get people out of the couch, which is good, but it can take people who are already high-level elite trainers and actually dig them into holes.
Yeah, because sometimes the lazy person that does nothing needs a kick in the butt to get them doing. They need some tough boot campy saying, but that doesn't mean that they're all equally valid.
No.
And I'd like to point out also that this stuff is nuanced. So
we'll probably miss some stuff today, so don't hate on us for that too much.
Yeah, but yeah, should we get into it?
I think number one.
Okay. Number one, no pain, no gain. Now that's a wonderful statement in the sense of in order to get good at something, there's a price you have to pay. That's the interpretation of it that I like. Like there was pain.
Nothing of reward without effort.
Yeah, there was pain getting this thing up and running, and it was
stress
grind and stress. Yeah. So there's a no pain, no gain in a metaphorical sense, and also in a real world sense. In that if I want my biceps to get bigger, I will have to curl until there's pain. If I stopped curling every time there was pain...
At rep number 4, it would take a lot of short sets to get the job done.
And even then, probably,
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but where it's inappropriately applied to people, and I've seen... The best example of it was a basketball coach making one of his players train through a rolled ankle. So he rolls the ankle mid-practice, and the coach says... Toughen up, harden up, little pumpkin.
Yeah.
You need to train through that. Like, no, he just rolled his ankle.
Yeah.
He's not going to be able to play. Like, you could roll his ankle, he could be out for 10 days, or you can make him train through it and he could be out for 30 days.
Yeah, exactly. And like tendinopathy, sore lower backs, pushing through that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Finals, playoffs in the NBA, or you got a grand final or a semi-final, you state tryouts for the TSC Cup team, whatever it is.
There are times for that.
There are times where you have to potentially inappropriately push through things in order to be an athlete. That's kind of the price you pay.
Yeah.
Sometimes you push through things for rehearsals if you're a dancer, stuff like that. But when you're doing it early in the season or just for the sake of it, and you turn a 10-day injury into a 30-day, or you turn a little knee niggle or a little disc irritation in your back into a lifelong thing.
You've got to pick your moments. So a great example of doing it the right way was Ali Douglas. Hi Ali, if you're watching, she was the captain of the Rangers back in 03, 04, 05. And she did an anterior dislocation of her talar dome
on the ankle. Ooh,
just slipped that sucker, right?
And it went forward.
This is like the week before the grand final, and she's just like, strap it up, jab it up,
let's go,
let's do this, right? And that's like, yes, that is the time where it's no pain, no gain. We won a championship, and it was amazing. I should have and then as soon as the season was over, I had to have an ankle reconstruction. But it was
through.
But just the blanket no pain, no gain thing.
I did the exact opposite with my shins when they first started. So that's a little sore. But it's like once I warm up, it's fine. And so I just went go and go and go. And so had I rested a little more strategic in that first couple of weeks when I first started getting symptoms, I may not be carrying them still to this day. Yeah. Whereas I pushed through them, had to make this team. It was like, well, didn't really. Yeah. But pushed through it and was a little stupid and cavalier about it. And here I am still with occasional symptoms every now and again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
and also the flip side of it is that easy strength idea that Dan John.
Yeah. And the training to failure research, which is really starting to get momentum.
Yeah, so it's counterintuitive, but people think that if you want to get stronger, you have to just train to failure and just absolutely
grind every single
rep, squeeze every bit of juice. It's like, no, actually,
the exact opposite.
Yeah,
you should do double the sets, but half the reps. Yeah. And the quality is so much more important than the quantity of work.
And the underpinning of that is the idea of strength as a skill. So we wouldn't get up 2,000 jump shots, or you wouldn't kick a footy to failure.
You wouldn't practice your handstands if you're a gymnast to failure. You would do high quality reps. Once you're running out of juice,
and strength is the same. Yeah. So I feel like no pain no gain is crazy. One of my 1,000 years ago. So this is 17 years ago. One of my clients once said to me, I've got this new saying for you. No pain, no pain.
Nice.
So that's that one.
That's number one. Number two builds directly on that.
Oh, it does, yeah. That which does not kill you makes you stronger. That's a quote from Friedrich Nietzsche, the philosopher.
French philosopher in the
I should know that. I feel like German. No, definitely German. Because he talked about the Uberman, the Superman.
Uberman, okay.
Yeah.
I'll link to his Wikipedia, which no one will click on, but it's there.
So Nietzsche was talking about emotional things, like difficult things that happen in your life that strengthen you and build your resilience.
Fortitude of character and stuff like that, yeah.
He wasn't talking about, like...
Cutting your arm. My favourite example is the cutting your arm off one. What doesn't kill you makes you... My dad's missing 3 fingers, and as a result, his grip is compromised. He is a weaker man. Sorry, Dad, if you're watching. Hi. I hope you don't mind me saying this, but his
grip strength definitely less than if he had all his fingers.
He's still a strong man. He still does physical labor. He's a fisherman and very strong and good at what he does.
Yeah.
But had he had all those fingers, it's not like he's going, thank God I lost those fingers. Now look at my grip.
I've never been this strong.
Yeah. So you cut someone's arm off. No, they're a weaker human being.
Yeah.
You bust that ankle and then run on it for a week.
You do that ACL, and you do the ACL and you work hard and you come back, and maybe it'll make you a better athlete overall.
Because of the psychological toughness and having been through a process.
So that's the Nietzsche component of it. That's the part where it built resilience. But the actual physiological, generally, damage isn't going to make you better.
Yeah.
And CrossFit loves that stuff. The pec tears. Can we talk about the 25 pec tears?
Yeah, talk about the pec tears.
So there was an article a couple of weeks ago that got pretty good play on Facebook and around the place.
I'll find it and link it.
And it was talking about 25 pec tears. So 25 competitors tore their pecs at the regional CrossFit.
Doing a muscle up on ring dip muscle ups, yeah.
And muscle ups are really hard. But the hilarious thing is what the beauty and cleverness of CrossFit is. They were doing an inappropriate activity, they were doing it dangerously, and they tore their pecs. And all of them was like, this just strengthens my resolve.
I'll be back next year. Thanks for all the support.
So their Instagrams are all this, this is an inspiring story. Like, imagine if every time your car broke down, you loved it more and you wrote inspiring posts about your car. My car broke down, but I'm resolved to keep loving this car. It's like, no, it's a crap car. Anyway, I don't want to get too crossfitting.
Yeah.
That which doesn't kill you.
Yeah, it's a lie. Things, if you do damage to your body, if you herniate a disc, if you do your ACL, if you roll your ankle, if you get patellar tendinopathy, if you develop shin splints and you push through that, it may not kill you, but it will make you worse because you have to deal with that, and your training volume and your ability to train and work hard is compromised.
Although nuance,
the mental fortitude side.
And so tendinopathy, the worst thing you could do is nothing. So we had someone come in the other week who'd done nothing for 10 days when their tendon got a bit sore, and the physio was horrified. I was horrified. It's like, so it's not a case of, you've heard a thing, don't do anything. It's just blindly pushing through joint pain because you've heard a slogan.
Yeah, that's a very good point, actually, the tendon stuff. Yeah, you can't rest your way out of a lot of chronic injury. You can't rest your way.
Strengthen your way out of
those problems. You have to strengthen, mobilize, and correct your way.
So that's a great quote, I think, is that that you have to strengthen your way out of most injury problems. There are very, very few injuries that you don't need to strengthen your way out of. You can't rest your way out of them exclusively. You can't treat your way out of them. You've got to strengthen your way out of those problems.
Yeah, it's that right balance between rest in the early days and then this will be a whole nother topic. I think we'll leave it there.
Okay.
Number 3.
Okay. So this saying kind of varies. It's not just saying; it's more a phenomena, I guess.
It comes from assholes quite often.
Yeah, and it's like, I saw blah 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 doing this. Why aren't we? Why we should do that?
Or someone will tag you in someone's Instagram or Facebook. Yeah. It's like, hey, what do you think of this? We're going to do this. And it's like, no.
So there's footage of LeBron James doing his training with wearing his earphones while his coach is coaching him.
With the coach, yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
Oh, it's terrible. And it feels like the coach is trying to get his attention.
Hey, do this thing. And LeBron's just like,
And
so and there's music on it. It's a bit of a montage. It's very,
but he's doing like these Swiss ball kneeling things. It's like, that's okay, but
and so there's
people like, that's why he's so good. No, he's good because he's 6'8",
230, 240 pounds,
and he can do all the wrong stuff and get amazing results because he's got the genes.
And so this is actually from a friend of mine, tagged me in that picture and was like, check this out. And I've gone, good on him. Like it was nothing was bad or dangerous, but
it's not going to end his career.
But it was also very exertainment. It was very sexy,
Insta trainer,
sexy circuity stuff. Where it's like, if you're a medium level to semi level athlete here in Australia, or playing Big V or youth league or juniors or anything like that, the stuff that's working for LeBron, even though that's not the thing that got him there, isn't necessarily going to be the best thing you can do with your time, because he's got infinite time, he's got infinite dollars to do whatever he wants. He can stuff up a few sessions. He can fix them up the next day.
And so I've never been tagged by someone doing. Sorry, I cut you off. I've never been tagged by someone doing the fundamentals brutally well, and people are like, look at this on the internet.
That's a nice core lift with a moderate amount of weight that's really explosive. No, or that's a really good set of 10 push-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always the sexy stuff. And that stuff looks good on Instagram, but it's not the meat and potatoes. The meat and potatoes, you've got to focus on those big rocks of training. And so often the stuff, and this isn't a dig at LeBron, but the stuff he does that's fundamental is the stuff he's probably doing 90% of the workout. Someone probably filmed him for 2 hours over a couple of weeks of training footage. He rolled, he stretched, he did his activation work, he did his TheraBand work. That's boring. Let's put the stupid chins and the weird Swiss ball stuff. Yeah,
exactly.
So the stuff that ends up on our feeds isn't actually what's making that athlete good. That's the fluff, the little bits around the edge.
Yeah, the tasty stuff. Yeah. The icing.
Exactly.
Okay, I feel like that's dealt with.
Good, yep.
That's good.
Number 4.
The only bad workout is the workout you didn't do.
Yeah. There's no such thing as a bad workout.
And again, if you've got a wussy person who doesn't train much, who wags at the slightest excuse, sometimes you should push through training a little bit. You should push. It's not like, for those people, that's a helpful saying. So I got 5 hours sleep last night, and I did not feel like training today. And I did a 30-minute bike at a lower intensity than I normally do.
Yeah.
So if I was on the precipice of not training, that'd be a helpful slogan. But you get people who are actually proper sick who train. It's like, well, all you're doing is elevating cortisol, reducing your testosterone,
burning through some glycogen,
and prolonging the illness. Whereas we try and do the proactive sidestep of
be a wuss for a couple of days as it's building up. So
preemptive wuss, yeah.
Preemptive wussiness, yeah.
So you nailed that about a month
I've nailed
ago?
it twice now this year, yeah. So once was I woke up middle of the night Thursday, and it was like, tonsils were a little tender, and it was like all mucusy.
Yeah.
One of those nights where you can't sleep because you feel like you're going to choke yourself on saliva. Woke up Friday morning, I was like, I feel okay. Like,
I could
train today. So Friday I stayed home. I think I went for a walk,
Yep.
did some shopping and some cooking and stuff like that. But called Durham up in the middle of the day and said, I'm not great. Like, I'm okay. I'll probably be fine by tomorrow. But your response was, nah, just skip the Saturday. Don't come into work. Missed Saturday. Missed my lift on Saturday. So I think I went for a walk Friday, Saturday. By Sunday morning, I was like, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Whereas had I coached on the Saturday and lifted on the Saturday, I probably would have been wrecked for the entire rest of the week, Monday through Thursday.
It's the preemptive, just listening. So I did the same thing. I've noticed my heart rate was a bit elevated for 4 consecutive days. I felt a little bit on the edge, and I was like, I'm calling it. Because I gave this also, if you give the staff a talk about how you can't get sick and how if you get sick, you've let the team down.
I think about a week after I nailed my sickness avoiding, Durham had a speech and was like, I'm not going to get sick all this year. We're going to have it awesome. You're going to be smart about when you're fluey and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then you proceeded to miss the Monday because it's like, I'm just going to not get sick today.
But
you nailed it. Yeah. Exactly.
So no, the bad workouts when you're sick, bad workouts when you're sore, and continuity of training is the point of that saying the only bad workout is the one you didn't do is to maximize continuity.
Yeah, so you hit your 4 sessions a week. Or
that's a great goal, but often maximizing continuity is actually about sidestepping illness.
Yeah. How many of your workouts do you reckon a week are mediocre to below what you expect to do? So you go into the gym and you go, I'm going to do this today, and then you get started and you're like, it's not happening.
Yeah, so I've got 3 lifts, three runs, 1 ride, and I reckon in any given week, one of the lifts will be a little bit, 2 of the lifts will be kick-ass, and I'm pretty happy with them. And one of them, that was okay. I've put that in the bank. That was good enough. It wasn't amazing. And I reckon one of the runs, I'll just get it done. It won't be incredible. Like I did a mediocre one on Tuesday. I'm running again tomorrow. I'm hanging for it because I'm like, I want to put a good one in. But but it's the cumulative of that.
Yeah, there's this external perception that all workouts are just kick ass, and you just get in there and you just demolish the gym and you work out covered in sweat. It's like, I'm a warrior. It's like, I reckon I'm training at night at the moment, which is a topic for another discussion, but it's working well and it helps. I've got my brother and my housemate Nathan coming along. But I reckon of those workouts, I reckon 50% of them either cut reps on something or cut something somewhere. It's just like, I'll go harder on something else. Hammy's feeling really tight. I'll leave the Nordics alone. I'll just do some Swiss ball. And so that ability to adjust when something's not right for the long game. Yeah, that cost me a little bit of strength in the month, the next month or so. But hopefully by the time I'm 30, 35, 40, I'll be able to maintain this consistency of 2 or 3 lifts every week, 2 or 3 runs every week, couple of cardios. And that, I think that saves you a lot of dollars and a lot of time on the treatment table down the track. Or time on the couch when you're resting.
I think like the best thing I've ever done is the 3 lifts on an A-B split, because I know I've got another lift. I'm doing that lift again in 4 days. Yeah. I can get it through, but I don't have to max out and everything. So I can listen to a little bit of a soreness and back off a tiny bit and then attack that. And the cumulative contribution of just putting those lifts in the bank just means my graph it's not an exciting graph.
Yeah,
but it's just
a linear with a 0.1 gradient is not very exciting, but it's 0.1. It's positive. Yeah.
But being 50 in 7 years and being in better shape than I am now, or being in equal shape, is actually a win.
Yeah,
that's the path there.
Yeah. So you do the A/B split, which is good. My talk tactics for a bit. My tactic is I do 2 very similar lifts on a Tuesday and Thursday. They're both pretty much the same. So it's a core lift, a squat, a variation, chin, pull, blah, blah, blah. And then I have a Saturday lift, which is my flexi lift. So if I hit my Tuesday and my Thursday lift perfectly and I nail them, then on Saturday I'll do fun stuff. Like I'll do some crawling or some get-ups or some Olympic lifting. Just sort of a bit of play stuff. Yeah. Practice my handstands, things like that. Some different stuff. But if I miss one of my Tuesday or Thursday lifts, or if I don't hit my hammies properly, I'll add some Nordics. Or if I didn't core lift heavy enough, I'll do an extra core lift session. So I've got an AA, but with a flexi lift built in.
Nice.
Which you usually just play because it's kind of on a Saturday, so I can just decompress after work.
That's
or it becomes a heavy one if I've missed one.
Well, and so what I've taken a different tack. So my A and B is I've got posterior chain plus shoulders, and I treat the shoulders as kind of a fun thing. And then I've got anterior chain plus guns.
Yeah, yeah. So you got a bit of sugar mixed into both ones. Yeah, nice. Yeah. All right, that was number 1, 2, 3. 4,
something is good for you.
Number 6.
Okay.
This is just a short one, and this is mine. Everyone remember that guy Eric Thomas? You don't remember him, but he was the hip hop preacher. Was his thing, and so his thing was need to grind. He had these awesome videos back in the day. It's so motivational. But one of his quotes was, "Sleep is for those who are broke. Sleep, I don't need it." I was like, yeah, you do. If you're an athlete, see the videos linked above or below where we talk about sleep at depth and how important it is. That's all. Let's move on from that.
It's so important. Can I just very briefly? I don't want to
please,
shit. This is not a political. This is just a thing about a politician. I'd like to say this is a Kevin Rudd thing. Kevin Rudd was not a very good prime minister, not a very good decision maker. Would apparently in cabinet meetings would have points where he, the
bit of a control freak from what you've told me.
Did everything, but he would just kind of lock up. Like a computer freezing. It's like, have
you tried turning it off and on again?
Yeah. And have to take him for a walk out in the garden. But he famously talked about, I only sleep for 4 hours a night. Like, yeah, your cognitive processes are heavily compromised by lack of sleep. Yeah. Sleep's a big deal for this thing.
And the big thing people forget with sleep is you don't all of a sudden miss one night of sleep and you turn to mush. If you chronically miss just half an hour a night, 45 minutes a night from what you need, you don't. The problem is it's in the same way we make such slow progress. The decay is so slow that by the time you're running 20% short of what you should be, you don't realize it's 20% short of your maximum.
Yeah,
and that gap here between the two graphs is like, where did that come from? It's like, dude, you're slipping, but people don't realize it kind of thing.
Yeah, you're the lobster boiling in the pot of fatigue. Mixed metaphor, nailed.
I suppose these last 3, get on to the last 3 now.
Yeah, okay.
They kind of all really relate together too about hypertrophy, really, aren't they?
Yeah, hypertrophy myths. Hypertrophy, so muscle growth is a field heavily dominated by bodybuilders who are lovely, but not always.
And in some cases smart.
Some of them brilliant.
I'm reading Arnold Schwarzenegger's biography at the moment. He's a really fascinating and smart dude.
Dorian Yates, one of the greatest, really philosophical, interesting guy.
Not just balls of muscle.
Mike Mensa, he was who kind of founded the high intensity system, which Dorian ended up building upon. Well, these are some switch on dudes, but there's also a hell of a lot of just oh, well, blah, blah, blah did blah, 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 so I'll do blah, blah, blah. There's
Back to number 3.
Yeah, there's so much of that. And some of the sayings, like the idea, and the problem is there's kind of a bleed over from bodybuilding into strength and conditioning where people they talk about shocking the muscles.
Yeah, and Arnold actually invented that. So
Right.
he invented this thing where he said, every 8 weeks I had to shock the muscles and change the program completely. Otherwise they grew stagnant. They started predicting what was coming.
Like the muscles can't react with surprise. They don't have
Neural outputs, no. They're only inputted by the brain. And so yes, you will get less soreness as you get more accustomed to an exercise or to a certain workout. That doesn't necessarily mean you're not growing and developing though.
Yeah.
That's a very poor way of referring that.
Yeah, of inferring from that.
Inferring, sorry, yeah.
We've got a guest.
We do too.
Is that someone that we know?
I'm not sure.
Hi.
Let's hit pause on that.
Pause.
Okay, a little interruption. We're back though. So we finished talking about shocking the muscles and talking about hypertrophy myths.
Yeah.
An idea that what we actually got to talking about was train to failure. And so do you want to continue on with that a bit?
Yeah, so train to failure, it makes intuitive sense that if you want to get yourself stronger, you should train until you can do no more. That makes perfect sense.
And that sits with people's, especially athletes' mentality. They want to grind lots.
Well, yeah, because the opposite of train to failure is doing like one rep and going, I'm done. Well, clearly that person's not going anywhere ever. But actually, for strength gains, if you've got a 5 RM, if you can do a weight if it's heavy enough that you can just get 5 out, and you want to get stronger, if you do 3, if you do that, let's say it's a 100 kilo squat, I can do 100 kilo for 5, and then I'm done. You should do that 100 for a triple fast.
But lots of speed, yeah.
And that will make you stronger faster. And that blows the idea of leaving something in the tank blows civilians' minds. Experienced strength coaches, that's everyone.
Everyone these days has a less is more mentality. It's a different quote or something. It's minimal effective dose. Less is more.
All the successful strength and conditioning coaches have the variations of that quote.
Yep.
Yeah. So the train to failure stuff is crazy, and so shocking the muscle.
Yeah. Muscles don't respond to shock. They respond to mechanical tension, time and attention, and then metabolic fatigue.
Yeah.
So whatever combination of those you do, shock is not one of them. The shocking is when people get used to a workout or a certain set of exercises, they stop feeling sore. Yeah. If you're an athlete, that is gold. Don't fight that.
Yeah.
Like that is, if you're an athlete and you're training hard and you're lifting heavier every week, but you're not getting sore,
awesome.
bravo. Congratulations. You've ticked your box, you've done the job.
One of my favorites is Rach Brewster, great athlete playing for Utah State, and she'd squat 140 kilos and the next day, no soreness. Yeah. It's like, that's awesome. It's not like we're like, oh, damn it. We need to find ways to make your muscles more damaged. Yeah,
shocking the muscles and looking for damage for in-season athletes who have high training volumes out of the gym is insanity.
Crazy. Yeah.
So that builds onto that whole, walk out, limp out of the gym on leg day and not be able to move the next day. That's bad if you're an athlete. If you're a Joe Blogg and you like beating yourself up like that, by all means. But if you're an athlete and your goal is performance, if you want to jump higher, run faster, hit people harder, tackle bigger, kick further, whatever it might be, your goal should be to minimize soreness in the gym. Get in, do enough to stimulate growth and be stronger and build the muscles, but not so much that you're limping for 48 hours afterwards. That's insanity.
I reckon that's enough.
We should leave it on that. Yeah. Do I get a bombshell? Do I get to leave one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mic drop.
Let's not though. They're expensive.
Okay. Cool. So, thanks again for tuning in. You'll find all the show notes.
Yep. So with the posts, I will put the links in the show notes. We also post these onto our website. So if you need to go back and find all the archive details and the links and stuff, they're there. They'll be on the Facebook, they're on the YouTube, and they're linked on the podcast as well, wherever you get your podcast. If you're listening on audio.
As always, if you have a topic that you wish we'd cover,
hit us up.
Put it in the comments, and we'll cover it.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Cool.